Yeah, hey Jesse. Just I forgot. Were you one of the captains?
Yeah, yes, sir.
What was it an honor to be selected as one of the captains?
Yeah, it's a super honor, like you said, to just be voted, by, my peers, my teammates that, we've been building, relationships with, and for them to, vote me as a captain, I think that's something that you don't take lightly. But with that comes with, responsibilities of, being a leader, and there could have been, 10 other people that could have been voted as captain on this team, and just making sure that, I'm on my stuff every single day, and then also leading other guys and telling them to be captains in their own way. And I think you lead yourself, and then you lead others, and then you become a servant leader. And that's what, one of my goals was this offseason was to become a captain and be a leader on this team. So like I said, a huge honor for me, and something I won't take lightly.
What do you see in front of you this year as the units coming together?
Mm-hmm.
And you probably don't get to 133 tackles this year.
Yeah.
A lot of business back there.
That's a good thing. That's always a good thing if your safeties ain't leading the tackles column. But yeah, you look up there. You got Eddie, you got Grady, you got David. You got Jew, and then you got Zoe. That's only the first starting group, and then you got other guys like Big Root, B. You got all types of guys that that can come in and contribute. So as a DB, you start to smile a little bit. We'll probably be in a little bit more pass situations when you got a front like that. So just super excited to go out there and play with those guys, and like I said, I know what they bring to the table, and I can't wait to do the same.
How has practice been with Justin Simmons?
Mm-hmm.
Coach said he's full go and trying to get you guys got to get fitted in back there.
Yeah, Justin is a super smart player. Never have to really worry about him understanding what coverage we're in or how our offense is trying to attack us. It's more so just getting him caught up with some of the lingo. How do we play quarters, or how do we play, a certain coverage? I think that's the biggest thing, is just getting them caught up from when we first started installing in the summer through, OTAs, through training camp, and just getting them up to speed. But like I said, he's a smart player, smart person, and it's pretty easy for him so far. So I'm excited to go play with him for sure.
To follow up on that, Justin comes in and now getting more and more reps with the team and with you, but what does the work with you guys specifically look like off of the field and getting on the same page and having those conversations? Because I know you both are kind of leaders in your own right, and that's the nature of the position itself. But can you talk me through what that communication is like from a day-to-day standpoint?
Yeah, like you said, we're both leaders. He's been a captain multiple times over there in Denver, played on some really good defenses. So just asking him questions and, everything that we talk about on the field, that's not the only thing that's going on, obviously. We watch film with Kirk a couple times. We watch film together with just getting ahead on stuff and just trying to be leaders of that secondary. So, there's a lot of film study that goes into it, a lot of, texts, throughout the night, like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Sending each other videos and just, pause on that. But just going through different game plan adjustments and stuff like that. He's a super smart guy and something that I can learn from throughout the year. So super excited.
Do you, when you're kind of having these conversations with him, and I know something he said right when he first got here, and I think we've asked you this before, so I apologize, but he said he wants to compliment your game.
Yeah.
How do you see that now that he's able to be full go, no limitations or anything like that? How do you see that benefiting you as you get closer and closer to game day?
Yeah, there's been times where I haven't had a safety, where he can play that side and I play this side, or I'm always to the nickel, he's always to the nickel, or whatever it was. It's cool to bounce off somebody like that. He's played to the nickel, he's played away from the nickel, he's played in the box. So it's just that type of stuff that we both are like, hey, I want to compliment you. He's like, no, I want to compliment you. So it's a good thing to have. Like I said, he's a really smart player. I think when I was coming into the league, that was my comparison was Justin Simmons. So I've always kind of kept up with him and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's just, just having a guy that's been there and, had success for a very long time, it just puts you at a peace of mind, I think, to go and play faster. Not saying that, other safeties weren't capable of that, but just the communication, the experience, I think, definitely shows out for sure.
Is this the first time in your NFL career that you've been a captain?
This is my third time, third time.
How many were you in high school too, in college? Or?
Yeah, not in college. I only played 2 years in college, and in high school, yes, for sure.
I know it's not like obviously a popularity contest, but how's it mean? Like, was it when you had your own teammates voting for you?
Yeah, it hits a lot different. Rather than coaches picking captains, the guys. I think Ra said this, from day one. He wants the guys in the seats to make this team, and for guys to point out me, next to Grady and Kirk and Jake, guys that's been doing it for 10+ years. All those guys been doing it for 10+ years, and for me to be voted, like I said, it's not something I take lightly, and just shows that the work that I put in, all the preparation that I put in, it pays off, and it feels good when you're one of those guys I got to see on their chest. And like I said, it's something that comes with a lot of responsibility as well. So just understanding that and embracing it.
And just talking about Sunday's game, obviously there's a lot of talk about facing Arthur Smith again.
Yep.
Does that bring any extra juice for you guys? And also you have some familiarity with CP, Van Jefferson. Does that help you at all as a defense?
Yeah, it's always nice to have an offense that you played all last year throughout practice, and I know what Art is about. He's a great coach. He talks about being physical all the time, so I know what type of team that's coming in here on Sunday. And being from the AFC North, I played against Mike Tomlin about 10+ times, so I know I have a lot of respect for him and just how he does his business. He's been a head coach at the Steelers for that long for a reason, and having winning seasons for a reason. So just a lot of respect. The first week kind of presents some challenges of we can't watch Van, we can't watch Pickens, we can't watch Russ all on the one screen, but just game planning and going back to when Art was here, like I said, and some stuff that Tomlin likes as well. So that's how it works. The first couple of weeks you're like, what are we watching? But you just gotta see the bigger picture.
What do you watch? I guess you can't watch them right now.
Yeah, I can't give out all the sauce. I'm sure Art's watching our interviews. But yeah, just watching, maybe go back to practice. We still got access to that stuff, and then some of the preseason games as well. So
going off of that, do you have any, I know the little overlap you had with Art, do you have any stories that you could share that, one that sticks out that just encompasses kind of who he is that maybe we didn't get to see? Oh man, it's a bunch of stories. There's a bunch of sound effects and stuff that he just makes all the time, just talking about just being a tough dude. And that's one thing that like I said, I always got a lot of respect for, Art. He had a big role for me being here. And I have, nothing but respect for him. But yeah, there's a bunch of jokes, that he's always talking about, some stuff I can't say. So we'll keep that between us. When you look at the Steelers offense, specifically the quarterback position, it's interesting because you have Art who's getting a fresh start.
Yep.
Same with Russ. Same with Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
How do you dissect that room and what you expect to see from Russ kind of with this new team, with how things ended in Denver? Yeah,
you try to see where, Russ came from, and then you try to see what, Fields, all those guys has their strengths. Art's a really good player of putting his guys in position to be successful. So, you go back and watch some Denver film, you go back and watch some Bears film, and, see how, Russ is looking at the defense, how he's reading the post safety. And then you got Fields, he's more of a dynamic runner, but is more capable of throwing it as well. So just going back and, the history, I know it's the first time they're playing for the Steelers, but the history of them playing football is still out there for you to go watch. So that's the biggest thing, just going back, going back from the Seahawks to the Broncos, and just watch Russ and how he operates and stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing.
It's interesting when you're kind of talking about all this stuff. It's you're pulling from different eras and different time periods to kind of piece together what you think it could look like.
Mm-hmm.
Even in that, how do you make it to where it's not too much input and you're kind of just you know, at the end of the day, like, we are who we are and we
Yep.
have to go and play our game.
Yeah.
How much do you balance that in your own head?
Yeah, you can start to overthink a lot of stuff like, oh, we don't have any film, like I said, of those guys running this offense. But at the end of the day, you got to go back to your rules. And that's what we've been grinding throughout OTAs, throughout training camp to trust each other and make calls and just be all on the same page. They may come out in something completely different that we've never seen, but if we play rules ball and just go by our rules, it'll work out just fine for us. So that's what, these first couple of weeks, like I said, you're not going to be getting a lot of film that you can watch on these guys, but if you go back and watch our film from training camp and see what hurt us or what we're not good at, that's something that we need to focus on. So this is going to be, who can execute, their offense, their defense at a higher level. That's what this game will be.
Couple more guys. Is there ever any concern because you guys haven't played in the preseason really, a lot of the starters? And
Yeah.
does week 1 kind of feel like a preseason, and how do you make it, I guess, not look like a?
Yeah. You better not make it look like a preseason game. I think that a lot of guys that's played in this league for a very long time, they didn't play. They didn't play at all throughout preseason. Some guys did play in that first game. So yeah, it's just we try to simulate as much as you can throughout practice. Like, hey, this is our game. This is where we need to turn it up a little bit. But honestly, you just go out there, and just trust it. You've been playing this game since you were, a little kid, and it's no different. You just go out there and play football. The first hit might hurt a little bit more, but at the end of the day, it's still just playing ball and using the rules that we've, using the rules and the trust that we've, created throughout OTAs and training camp.
Raheem said something about the players will determine, getting back to what you just said about guys haven't played in games.
Yep.
But the players will determine now moving forward what the identity of our team is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I have my ideas, we'll just see what happens. What do you envision your identity of your team to be?
Yeah, I think I can speak more on the defensive side right now, and us taking control of that part, and then it leading to the offense, leading to special teams. But I think we have a great group of leaders, like I said, that can identify what that looks like on the defensive side, and then you got Kirk and Jake that can identify that on the offensive side. But yeah, I just think that I just want our team to be, the most hungry and the most tough mentally, physically toughest team in this division, in this league. Because at some point we're going to go through, some type of adversity, some type of storm, and the toughest teams that I've been a part of, the most connected teams, those are the teams that come out good. And that's what I think that we're kind of getting to. Like I said, I keep talking about trust and, getting to know guys and, doing this, doing that. At the end of the day, the most connected team, the most physical team, and the most team that can play free and fast, I think that's the team that will be more successful. So.
As a teammate to Kirk, can you feel his energy and excitement about getting back out there for, first time in months?
Yeah. Like I said, we watched some film with Kirk, and I walked in his not his office, his quarterback's room, and you can just see this is last week before we went on break, and he has, the Steelers, 39s right here, you got 25 over here, so you can see, he may not show it, but I know he'll be prepared, and that's how every leader on this team should be.
All right, so just in, first week, obviously you're going up against a familiar coach. We talked about with Jessie.
Mm-hmm.
Does that bring any extra juice or anything going into the opening game?
For me, I think it's just obviously playing another game. It's the hype of Coach Smith and the Falcons, but for me, I have so much respect for Coach Smith, and he brought me here and gave me a shot. So but obviously you have excitement to be able to get to play each other again and see each other. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun matchup, obviously with him and his new offense, and then all that we have here. But yeah, I'm excited to get to go out there and play against them again.
How hard is it to know where you guys are as a team when a majority of you didn't even play in the preseason? Where does that confidence come from? Is it practice? Is it the training camp?
Yes, it's definitely practice. We were in offensive meeting the other day, and we were saying how many reps we got all together, and it was over 2,000 all at camp. So we are obviously comfortable with each other, and we all know where we're supposed to be, the playbook, the spots. We've tried to implement practice like physically, so we can get physically tired and drained, just how we know how a game will be. So I think like Coach Morris has been, done a really good job of like keeping practice as it is like a game and making sure that we're all the way conditioned, so we'll be ready to go for Sunday.
Is there kind of an excitement to sort of like no one's like open the gift and show everybody kind of what you guys are on offense now?
Yeah, I mean, like obviously we haven't shown anything. We have a lot of stuff that we have in our arsenal, but I think for us it's like that was for a reason. But obviously every single day we're working on what we have to come on Sundays, and I think that Coach Robinson, he's doing just an awesome job of like keeping us ready, keeping us intact, and making sure that we're always going over like the little things in the playbook. So we'll be 100% for Sunday. But yeah, I'm excited to show it. I'm excited to obviously show everybody what we've been working on, because we've been doing it for so long. So now we get to like just go out there and just have fun with it.
Bijan, last year you talked about the film you watch and how you would watch Devontae Adams and his releases and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm curious, with a year under your belt now,
Mm-hmm.
what are you watching now to maybe add anything to your game or change things?
Same stuff, same thing. I watch different receivers now and different running backs, and I'm a big believer in doing that, just because like you can always take something from somebody else's game, and obviously like they say this is like a copycat league, but I just look at it as just trying to get better. And a guy that I've been watching a lot of now is like Amon-Ra at receiver, like doing those little things with his get-offs and how he even runs with the ball after the catch. And the same running backs that I've been always looking at. But yeah, I think it's always good to study other guys and try to pick things from their game, because it's only going to just help me out, help the team out.
Speaking of helping, when did you know that Kirk Cousins just genuinely wants to help you guys get better?
From day one. He obviously came in, and that's the first thing he kind of said was like, I'm here to help you, as obviously we're all to help each other. And, obviously Kirk being a quarterback, like he needs to be the guy that does everything kind of for the offense. But, I think with the threats that he has with him and around him, like it's obviously going to just make him that much better as a quarterback. And obviously he's came from like Justin Jefferson and so many great players. So now he has, a lot of young guys here that are, super talented. So I think I'm really excited for him and for Sunday, and obviously coming off the injury, like I can't wait to see what he can do. And obviously we're all around him to make him better.
I know it's a different feeling when you're a rookie just heading into the league. There's a different kind of excitement when you start the season, but what is it like for you right now? What's this feeling heading into week one?
Just extremely confident. Like last year, obviously there's confidence, but there's still like what if, or like I got to do this, or I got to try to perfect this, and you're just always thinking, like, especially this time last year, like my head was like spinning, just because like I'm trying to be the best that I can be, but I'm trying to like not forget anything from the playbook, and obviously remember everything from training camp. But now like I'm 100% ready to go. Like I'm just super locked in, super confident. Obviously had a year under my belt, so I kind of know what to expect out there. But yeah, I'm excited.
What did you learn in your rookie season where you're like, oh, I don't need to be doing all that?
Just a lot of like extra little things that I really kind of didn't need to do. But especially like, trying to, get prepared, but still not sure. And I was trying to do more than I was supposed to. And now, like, just seeing myself then and now it's like it's day and night, complete difference. But I think that's always, like, for a year one, even for me, from freshman year of college to sophomore year, like, it was obviously a jump. But that's just all from your confidence.
To follow up on what Maria was asking about Kirk, you talk about him coming back from injury and everything like that, but what do you see in his demeanor this week? The fact that he's been away from live game action for so long and leading you guys, what's that demeanor like?
I mean, he's locked in. I never really saw how his demeanor was like, game week prior to where he was at, but like me seeing him now, he's focused in. He's making sure everybody around him is locked in, like, and obviously like we help him with that in the huddle. But I mean, if you make a mistake, like you better like explain it right, because like he's really trying to make sure that everybody is comfortable and ready to go on Sunday. But I mean, that's what you got to do when you're a leader. And even like for me, trying to be, learning how to be a leader too. Like, I'm trying to make sure we're all just really confident for Sunday and we're not hesitant in any area.
Is there something specific that is? Because Jessie said, like, he walked in the quarterback room and he was like, he had, like, the numbers of the other guys, like, on the Steelers. Is there anything specific that you noticed that makes him, like, extra locked in now that's game week?
Just in the huddle, like, from camp, like, he's more, like, getting, like, ready. But in the huddle this week, he's more just, like just staring. And I'm like, all right, yep, that's what I like to see. But yeah, obviously when you see him like that, it makes all of us too, really be in that same mindset because we're not trying to make a mistake or mess up on Sunday. So we're trying to just do all of that now in practice.
You said talking about trying to be a leader. Is that being a captain one day something that you hope to be, maybe?
Yeah, most definitely. I every single day I try to get the respect, from the teammates on the field and off the field. So, like, I think the captains now are, they're leaders, they're vets. Like, those are guys that's been in the league for a long time. So, yeah, hopefully one day I can, definitely be a captain of the team and, lead these guys to, great seasons too.
Yeah, Coach, what's your sense of where everything's at as y'all put it all together? It's time to go play.
Yeah, no, like you said, it's time to go. Time for these guys to just go cut it loose. We've got a ton of reps banked from OTAs to training camp. We've had good scrimmage opportunities. We're seeing a lot of good stuff against our defense all camp. So feel good with where we're at overall. The guys are confident. They're kind of ready to just at this point go play somebody else and go hit somebody else. So feel good where we're at. And obviously a lot of work to go this week to get the plan ready to roll. But the guys are definitely going to be ready to roll.
And could you discuss Kirk and where he's at as he's getting ready to, return to the field himself?
Yeah, Kirk looks like Kirk to me, from just a movement standpoint, the way the ball's coming out of his hand, the way he's throwing it, the way he's operating, looks like what you guys know Kirk Cousins to be. And so I know it'll be, some jitters early on, I'm sure. First time playing since last season. So we'll try to get him into a rhythm and let him just go play. But in terms of the health and what he looks like, Kirk looks good.
I thought it was really interesting. I was asking some of the guys, like, how is Kirk Cousins different, like, game week? And, like, Jessie Bates said, like, the quarterback room is, like, all crazy. And then Bijan said that he was more serious in the huddle. Like, he made, like, very more. So have you noticed any difference just with Kirk?
Kirk is a pretty serious guy in general on the field. Now, he has fun, but you definitely want him to loosen up sometimes. But I didn't notice much difference today. He always gets the play call, and he's locked in and loaded. So it didn't seem too much different to me, but the guys in the huddle would actually know more than we would.
Raheem was in here earlier and talked about Kyle Pitts kind of being a little bit limited due to the hamstring injury. How much was he able to practice today, and is everything kind of full? Yeah,
it seems like it's good. I'd leave it up to the medical people to give where he's at, but he was moving around good and had no real limitations today.
How important is a healthy Kyle Pitts to this?
It's huge. His speed, how fast he can play with his size and the things that he can do in the pass game and in the run game is going to be a huge value for us. But absolutely, he's going to have a big role, and whether it's as a blocker, as a receiver, all those things that he's able to do, he brings a ton of versatility. So him being full go and being full speed will be a big deal.
How are you feeling entering like a week one game where you're going to be calling the shots under the big lights?
No, excited. You're so wrapped up in like every day and every minute of the day and your process that you don't even allow your mind to go to that situation. So I'm sure as the week builds, we'll have a good plan, and there's been great collaboration with all the coaches and players to lead up to this point. So we'll just continue to trust the process that we've had this whole time and be ready to roll on Sunday.
Did you try out different methods maybe during the preseason?
A couple things here and there. It was as you guys know, our preseason was so different than how a lot of teams handle it. So we tried some different things, whether it's on the call sheet or what you're looking at. The communication I thought was really clean with the coaches all preseason, which was good to iron out. So that was probably the most important thing, is seeing those young guys play, and then just our communication, which ended up being really clean.
To follow up on that, there's a lot made about obviously whether to play starters in the preseason, vets, all that kind of stuff, and y'all chose not to do that. And now going into week one, it's like first time really getting to see these guys go 120%. But Bijan made a comment earlier today that he was like, I think we had upwards of over like 2,000 some-odd team reps over the course of training camp and preseason. Is that something that y'all presented to them and be like, look, like y'all are ready to go and play?
That was kind of the message early in the week was, hey, you looked at the training camp reps. Those guys have banked, like I said, over 2,000 reps. Walk through, practice, jog throughs, So they're in those situations. Now it's just there's nothing different. You're just playing under the lights and you get to cut it loose. So dating back to even OTAs, it's almost 5,000 reps collectively that everybody's had. So those guys, without me even saying that, those guys would do it. But I do feel like sometimes that gets overstated. It never happened in LA where it felt like week one, gosh, I wish that we would have played the starters in preseason. Last year we played Seattle and played a really good, clean game on a Sunday at Seattle. So hopefully those guys have gotten enough of – they practice so hard. Our guys, I know you guys see it, but they practice like they're going to play. So that was kind of the message early in the week.
Just curious, who's tasked with that job of counting how many reps?
That was Rob Dodona. That was not mine. I asked him, and he was like right away. He counted it up. They have all that stuff logged, so it was good.
You've been around good quarterbacks. You were a quarterback. How confident are you guys with Kirk Cousins going into this game and some primetime games coming up? Him as the guy. Very
confident. Wouldn't want anybody else leading our team. Kirk is who he is every single day. He's an unbelievable leader with the guys in the locker room, which is awesome as a first-time guy coming in, and the experience that he has, his leadership principles, all those things he stands for, just as a person is going to go a long way. And obviously we know the player, so. Really confident with where Kirk's at. Excited to see him just go cut it loose and play again. I know he'll be excited. So we feel great about it. I know the rest of the team, the O-line, their bond, the rest of the skill guys, the rest of the defense, those guys all love him. And so I know they'll be all excited for him to play.
Yeah, Coach, how do you see Pittsburgh, winning that battle up front with Hayward, Highsmith, Watt, and they get clean from Baltimore?
Yeah, no, it's going to be a great challenge. Those guys have been good for a long time. Have played them 2 times, 2019, and then we played them last year. And you know what you're getting with Pittsburgh. It's a tough football team, very well coached since Coach Tomlin's been there. And even before then, it's a great storied franchise, obviously. So we know what we're getting with those guys. They're going to play tough. They're going to play physical. So we definitely got to match that. And know we got our hands full. Got a lot of work to do with preparation just to get ready for that. But know the guys will be ready to go.
Forgive me if I missed this. Are you calling from upstairs?
Going to call from upstairs. Did that in the preseason, so I think that worked out with our rhythm. So yeah, that'll be the plan. Will be to go upstairs.
What are the advantages and disadvantages of either?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. It's you get to see everything up there. You kind of got everything out in front of you. If you want to, just organizationally, it's pretty clean. You do miss being on the field with the guys, feeling the flow of what that feels like in practice, and when to go tempo sometimes. So you miss out on some of that, but just the organization that you have up there and just the kind of steadiness that the booth brings, I thought was a pretty good deal.
Game days in LA, were you on the field or in the box?
Always on the field. First time I was in the box was calling it, so it was interesting to see that perspective. You feel like you're 1,000 miles away, but no, it's good. It's a good setup at the Benz, so it's good.
Did you have to get new binoculars?
I did not. There was times I was looking down there that you're like, who's on the field defensively? But we have good communication with the rest of the coaches that kind of fill you in on some of that.
Obviously, Kirk's going to be ready to go and excited to get back in a game-type setting. But how much do you get that sense of excitement that he is just ready for a game because he hasn't seen game action in a while?
No, I know he's very excited to just go play football again. All these guys, these guys are, at the end of the day, they're entertainers. They love to play the game. That's why they play. Practice is one thing. You got to practice in order to prepare yourself to play. But at the end of the day, these guys want to play with the lights on, and that's exactly what we'll get on Sunday.
Going back to positioning and where you want to call it, when you were up there for the first time, what was it that kind of sold you? Was it just being able to see the whole field?
Yeah, seeing the whole field. I think knowing how much trust we have in the coaches that are down on the field to get the things communicated that we need to get communicated, that's obviously a huge deal. So, there are kind of a lot of things involved. Being able to see it organizationally, everything's just pretty clean, so it should be good to do it.
With Raheem's experience on both sides of the ball, I'm curious how you've seen that be an advantage for you guys, like in LA and then now with him as the head coach.
It's huge. Raheem is basically an offensive coach now. He don't let it fool you. He's a defensive guy. He loves offense. He loves the defensive side of the ball. But there's so many things that he helps me with. He helps the rest of our staff with on offense. Like, hey, this is a great way to attack these guys. I'm seeing this. He's got a great global perspective of the entire game. So that's been awesome from the time in LA when his office was right across from mine and we'd share thoughts on offense and defense. And I've learned a ton from him, in LA, and then over the last 6 months, even more so, that's been amplified. So he brings a ton of great value for us on offense.
Have you ever been around a guy like that who's defensive coordinator, but has that much knowledge?
No, not really. As far as a defensive coordinator, Sean was similar, knowing both sides of the football really well, but a guy that actually had called defense but had also worked on offense and coached receivers. Rod's the first and only one I've ever been around.
I feel great and ready to go. My number's called and ready to execute at a high level.
How much of the communication that goes on between safeties is universal so that it travels with you to any team, and how much of it is specific to you and Jessie and Richie and et cetera have to learn each other?
Yeah, there's a big learning component. And anytime you're in a defensive set formation, there's a lot of communication that goes on, right? And it's not just what's being taught, but it's how we all see it. How we see it is going to be different than how it's taught on paper, right? And so there's a lot of those communication points that obviously I have to catch up on, not being here in OTAs and in training camp and things like that. But secondary has been absolutely amazing. There's a lot of things that transfer over from defenses I played in prior. Jesse's been awesome, Rich, Dee, all the guys, AJ, Mike. So it's been a seamless transition, and looking forward to that showing on Sunday.
In your experience, is there a timetable for how this goes? Like by week 4, we'll be clicking, everything will be rolling as it should, or by week 2, or do you expect that Sunday when you roll out there?
No, I expect that Sunday when I'm out there. Yeah, I know how important each game is, right? And this is our first game at home. There's a lot of excitement right now, and a bunch of guys have said in interviews prior that we have to earn the privilege of having people be excited about the Falcons playing really good football. And so that's going to start not in week 4 but week 1, right? The preparation's already been laid, the foundation's been laid, and it's my job as a veteran coming in late to catch up to what's been established here, and I'm going to get that done.
Does your carryover with Russ give either one of you any sort of advantage this week?
I don't think so. I think there's I'm sure people might run with that, but I said I think it was yesterday or the day before, Russ is a heck of a competitor, a proven success story in this league, and in my opinion a Hall of Fame quarterback, and so he's going to have his things out there, and he's going to make his plays, and we're going to make our plays, and obviously it helps being in the inner circle with him with the last 2 years in Denver, but it's going to be completely different, him in Pittsburgh. So looking forward to getting their best, and they're going to get our best.
Are you excited to go up against him, not in a practice setting, actually in a game in a different uniform?
Yeah, for sure. I haven't. I think the only other time I played against him would have been my second year in the league. Then other than that, it's just been teammates in practice, and it was fun learning from him, right? Like I said, all the accolades I gave him earlier, but I'm looking forward to competing against him again in like a real-time setting where wins and losses count.
It has been a quick transition for you. What have you noticed just about the hunger and the desire for this team to win?
Yeah, that's I mentioned it, and it was one of the main reasons, if not the biggest reason, on wanting to be here. Want to be a part of a organization like this, and one that's yearning to go win and win at the highest level, right? And I think you can see with all the moves that have been made in the offseason, the extensions, the people that were already here and have kind of established themselves as younger players. I think this all around, from top to bottom, this is top class, and it's my job to make that right. I'm being brought in here solely to just come in and win football games, and so I'm hoping that that will come to fruition. And like I said, not in week 4, not in week 5, but starting on Sunday.
I know that you had a relationship with Jessie prior to coming here. You guys had talked just a little bit, but how much has he helped you just in these few short weeks to get you ready to go?
Yeah, Jesse's been awesome. He's helped me a lot, and really smart. And so, there's things that are new here for me that, he can easily correlate to defenses I played in the past, and not just Jess, but the whole secondary, right? Like my communication with AJ, with Mike, with Rich, that has to be solid all across the board with Dee And so they all been great, and I'm really thankful for them, man. We put in extra hours of film, extra time after walkthroughs, before, after, and like I said, it's got to correlate on Sunday for it to mean something.
How has Jesse handled helping you get adjusted? Like, did he come to you and be like, I'm here for you, or did you have to go to him?
Yeah, no, he came to me. He's a great dude, and I think just obviously with everything, call-wise, defensively, a lot of things like in the building, but things outside too, right? Like neighborhoods, places to live, all those things, right? Jesse's been awesome, and there's a bunch of people here that have been awesome, not just Jesse. So I'm thankful, like I said, top to bottom, top class, and super thankful for the guys here and everyone involved.
Extremely excited. You obviously have those nerves that I think everybody in this locker room feels, just being the first game of the season. But yeah, it's been a long camp, and we're all ready to get out there, play some football.
How ready do you genuinely feel heading into game?
Yeah, I think extremely ready. We've been detailing the game plan, watching lots of film, had a long camp, and I think we're all ready, and I'm right there with them.
Looking over across the sideline, there'll be an offense coordinator who you guys all know pretty well. What's it going to be like playing against Arthur Smith?
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Obviously, he's a tremendous play caller and a great coach. And so we've been kind of trying to watch all sorts of stuff. He's presents some challenges, and it'll be fun to see him again.
Yeah, as you kind of study as best you can his offense, do you find yourself seeing like old Falcons tape on there? Because that's the most recent example.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of assume that he's going to run some sort of that. Probably some new wrinkles, new stuff for us. So we've been watching some Falcons tape, I guess.
Apparently, Mike Tomlin was on a podcast. He said, "Hey, Raheem, just FYI, we're going to run Justin Fields out there. I have a package for them." I mean, how do you look at that quarterback situation that they have over there?
Yeah, I mean, they have two extremely talented guys. Obviously, Fields presents some challenges in the run game, just being dynamic and a good runner as he is. And then, I mean, Russ is mobile as well, so we have to be ready for both of them to use their feet on us.
Week one is always going to be a ton of unscouted looks. I know that's part of it every week for you guys, but how do you go into a game as a new quarterback, new offense coordinator, new everything? How does that affect you guys?
Yeah, I think it kind of simplifies it because we just play by our rules. We're calling it a rules ball game. Whatever they present, we're just going to, play by the rules that we've, come to know throughout camp and through the off season. Whatever happens, but hopefully good things as long as we, play sound defense.
There were a couple new quarterbacks here as well, so how much does that help you going into new quarterbacks here in practice and then new quarterbacks on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, playing against Mike and Kirk every single day.
The pressure is right there.
I know. They're doing a good job of preparing us, especially Mike with his feet for the Fields and Russ look. They've been awesome to play against, and have definitely challenged our defense and made us a lot better.
As somebody who's been working towards this moment, getting back on the field for a long time, is there one moment, whether it's the running out of the smoke or the anthem or your first big hit, whatever, is there one moment that you've kind of had like circled for a long time?
Yeah, I'd say probably the first hit, first tackle, kind of make it real again. So definitely looking forward to that.
Is that nerves or excitement?
I think it's a little bit of both, and I think that's kind of how you want it. If you're not nervous, it means you maybe don't care enough, but you're definitely excited for that.
How are you feeling after an entire training camp and now going back into full swing?
Yeah, feel great, ready to go. Body feels good, healthy, mentally ready, and looking forward to this weekend.
It's been a while since you felt a game week where you knew you were playing on Sunday. Does it feel good just to get back into that rhythm of things?
Yeah, for sure. Trying to find that routine again, get into the mode, watching film and mentally preparing to go play on Sunday. It definitely feels good to be back in that mode.
What's it been like having Matthew Judon around?
Oh, awesome. He's a great guy, funny personality, but then a tremendous player, tremendous competitor. Lucky he's on our side now, and it's been fun to have him out of practice.
What was it like seeing JD's growth just in training camp alone?
Yeah, JD's been fun to get to know as well. He's extremely smart, extremely talented, works hard, so it's been a lot of fun playing against him.
Was it impressive to see him run with you during the scrimmage specifically? Because I know Caden and Nate weren't. participating?
Yeah. I mean, we've kind of all been rotating, and JD's awesome to play with. Obviously, smart player, like I said. You know, you don't have to tell him what to do. He knows what he's doing, which is a good thing, and he's a talented player.
Kirk has talked a lot about time on task. All of these new guys, we've got to work together. We've got to make it look like we've been together for 3 or 4 years. How far along is that process, do you think?
I think we put in some good time in camp and before camp to get the reps in so that our relationship grows as offense.
Is it reasonable to expect it to look smooth right out of the gate, or do you expect that there are going to be some growing pains and some bumps in the road?
I mean, obviously that's what we strive for, to look as good as we can and just take it play by play.
Playing Arthur Sunday, does that matter? I mean, is that a factor at all?
Arthur's on offense, so not for me now.
You won't.
No.
How confident are you guys in Kirk as far as going into these big games early in the season?
Very confident. He's confident, and if he's confident, we're just playing off his energy and just trying to, like I said, put these drives together and plays together.
How much has Raheem's experience with both the offense and defense kind of helped you guys? Have you seen that played out at all throughout the training camp?
Yeah, just seeing him bounce back and forth between offense and defense. He has his different saves and different tools he can help you win, and just listening to him is he's seen a lot of ball.
How much do you feel like you've learned from Kirk Cousins, and just how much does he want to help you guys in terms of the offense as a whole?
Also, I learned a lot from him. It's continual. He's like another coach, I say, and just hearing him out there, trying to help you play faster and be more knowledgeable of the game is pretty good.
When did you realize that he genuinely wants to help you guys get better?
When he first got here, just hearing how he likes his the offense to be ran and what he expects and how everybody can just play off of him.
I know you have high expectations for yourself heading into this year, so how much does that excite you, that you have a quarterback that just wants you to get better?
Pretty good. Just kind of makes me more inclined to just be in the right spot at the right time and just knowing that everything will be dispersed correct.
What's the feeling like just around the locker room now that the countdown's on? You guys looking ahead to Sunday?
It's different in pre-practice open locker room. That's the first thing.
That's true.
But I would just say it's pretty cool. Everybody it's a great camaraderie, and we're just all pretty cool and just excited for game one.
You might have got asked about this already, so sorry if you did. But what's it going to be like playing a game against your former head coach, a guy who played a big role in Arthur Smith in the start of your career?
Yeah, it's gonna be a very good game. Gonna mean a lot. He gave me an opportunity to be in the league, so shouts out to Coach Smith. But pretty much you already know the type of guy he's gonna be, man. He was a good coach, so he's gonna come in trying to run the ball, and he loved running the ball. So just me being a nickel, I gotta have my mindset on getting ready to get in run fits and stopping the run. But it's gonna be a pretty good game, man, going against my old coach who gave me an opportunity to be in the league.
You also know how competitive he is. Do you think he'll have an extra chip on his shoulder to see his old team?
Oh yeah, it's most definitely. I'm pretty sure he's telling these guys like, hey man, we don't win any other game, we want to win this one. So he's a very competitive coach.
Raheem said that Mike Tomlin tipped him off, said, hey, oh yeah, we're preparing a package for Justin Fields. Just give him a little intel. How do you guys look at the quarterback situation they got going over there?
I mean, they got two good quarterbacks. Russell Wilson, great quarterback. Justin Fields, obviously a great quarterback, more of a scrambler. So they got a good quarterback duo over there. So we just got to be prepared, to play both of them.
I know it's part of the deal with any first game of the season, right? But we got a new offensive coordinator, 2 new quarterbacks, whole new system. So how do you guys prepare for that when there's so much unknown?
I mean, just playing rules football, just doing what we do. Whatever our defensive coordinator call, we dial it up and execute our game plan. And just like I said, just play rules football. No matter what they throw at us, just read our keys correctly and just play fast.
That's actually the same phrase that Raheem used with us. So what does rules football mean to you as a player? Is it just focusing on your stuff even more than you would in a normal game?
Pretty much. Just knowing if we call cover 3, knowing what I got in cover 3, and whatever they do, I know what I got to do, and you just execute like the play call.
What's just the feeling like now for you guys in the locker room? You got countdowns on to the season opener.
Hey, it's a lot of energy, man. We ready to unleash that game day. Obviously we didn't play over the preseason, so we're just ready to show everyone what our identity would be as a Falcon. So we're just ready.
Kind of a dream come true for you, and just the reality this week. Just tell me all about it.
Most definitely, it's definitely an exciting time, and I mean, I think for me, I've just put my mind towards the NFL my whole life and be able to actually be here and be where my feet are. And I'm just trying to enjoy the moment and just live in the present and be able to take it one day at a time.
How do you think camp went and got you ready for this?
I think it was a productive camp. I think I showed my ability to make plays, and I think no matter what my job is and going forward, I'm just going to be able to take it one day at a time and be able to try to be as prepared as I can.
Where do you think the big difference was from, college to pros?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is everyone's good. I think the quarterbacks throw a lot better balls. The offensive line is just a lot better, and I would say those two are probably the biggest to me. Like, the offensive line can just get up to you so much faster, but they also are so good with their hand placement. So just between those two, I'd say they're probably the biggest difference.
What is just the week going to be like for you? I know you said you're excited, but when will it hit you? When do you think that moment will hit you?
I'm not sure yet. Honestly, I think Sunday. I think for me right now, there's a lot of preparation that goes into it, and there's a lot of things I got to make sure I do until then. And so I'll keep my mind focused on there. But then as Sunday rolls around, the preparation will be done, and I'll probably start to feel a little bit more excitement, a little bit more ready to go.
Has anybody on defense kind of said to you, hey, this is what they could do with Arthur kind of being here last year?
Yeah, I think we've kind of looked at various places that from last year's film to preseason, just kind of across the board. And so we're obviously trying to prepare, but first games, there's always going to be some questions.
You've sought a lot of advice from veteran guys in the league. I'm curious what they've told you heading into this first game.
Funny thing was, I got my schedule for last week. I got my schedule for this week. And college, you usually booked, and done by 7 p.m., and there's only so much time you got. Versus now, it's we're done by 3 p.m., so I actually kind of shot Sean Lee just hey, a text saying hey, we're done at 3 p.m., what would you do? And so we hopped on the phone for about 45 minutes and kind of just talked through how he would handle that, how he would go about each of those days. And so kind of got a good feel what he would do and kind of what I wanted to do based off what he said.
Do you feel like your routine is coming together? Is it ever changing in your rookie year? Or is it does it feel pretty solid so far?
I think it'll always be changing, but I think even to me as this week, yesterday, I was changing some stuff that I did yesterday that I liked and didn't like, but it kind of gives me a good basis and baseline of hey, after practice, I'm going to touch on this, how I'm going to go about my flow of my day.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of ticket requests? Who's handling that for you? Are you handling it?
My parents are mainly handling it, and I think they're kind of trying to shut down a lot of ticket requests and just kind of leave it a little bit less of a load on me.
Yeah, obviously, there was that preseason game played there, but what do you think it's going to be playing for your hometown team in the regular season?
I don't even know if I have words for it yet. I think after the game I have some better words. I'm just excited. Couldn't be more excited.